Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I just finished doing a mini, I look like a sick person, a mini mall haul for y'all that I'm gonna upload like probably in the future, probably. No, definitely, because I'm not gonna record something that I'm not gonna upload. I'm losing my edges. It's because I put my bonnet on a lot. I've been sleeping back to back, like naps upon naps, so like, and I'm too lazy to do my edges. Let me just put my curls in the back of me. It was never there. So yeah. So I did this story time, like for the very first, like for my get to know me video, I did a story time right after that. But I never uploaded it because I can't edit yet. So that's the crazy part, is that I still don't know how to edit. This bag is from the video haul, so don't even mind that bag. So it's like I don't know how to edit yet. So I'm like, you know what? Let me cut it out because I was still sick and I was really congested. My nose was running every part. So I'm like touching my nose like this and thinking. So I'm like, you know what? Let me not upload that video. Let me make a whole another video today and I'm gonna upload it tonight. So this story time is my first paranormal experience, which is not my first paranormal experience, to be honest. I had other like ghostly encounters, but I don't like, I remember them, but some of them is kind of foggy in my mind, so I'm not gonna say it, and it's not like right off the bat off my memory, like I'm telling tales, like feeding into something that wasn't really true. But this story time I'm about to tell you, I remember it like it was freaking yesterday. Like it's playing in my head, like every time, when you hear something scary and you get those chills and you kind of, sometimes I cry. I don't know, I'm a crybaby, so it's just like I get those chills of, I don't know. So this story time is when I was in, I believe I was either in the fifth or sixth grade. I feel like I was in the sixth grade. So I've been in a Catholic school my whole entire life. Like from preschool all the way till I graduated high school, I was in a private Catholic school. So the private Catholic school that I went to when I was little is from preschool, pre-K 3 to 8th grade. So you graduate, like you there from little toddler to you're up there graduating to go to high school. So I went there pre-K 4 because I don't know, I didn't start late. It's just you could either do pre-K 3, pre-K 4. I just went straight to pre-K 4. So when I did that, I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, now I was in the the sixth grade. So being in sixth grade, I wasn't after school because I really struggled with my homework. Not necessarily like I was slow or anything. It's just like I really needed help in math, especially because I'm not good at math at all. To this day, math is not my favorite subject. English is, science is, history is, but when it comes to freaking math, me and math we don't click. So I was like, okay, my mom put me in after school from like, I think fourth grade, since fourth grade to like, I think I stopped in sixth grade, like the beginning of seventh grade I stopped. So I went to after school. So how my school is set up, like the downstairs, the ground, like the basement was counted as a cafeteria, the auditorium, the gym, everything, because it was a really small school. So we didn't have a lot of lots or anything. Like some schools had like their own auditorium, their own cafeteria, like things like that. We didn't have that. That basement was everything in one. Like you could be surprised how much you could do in a basement that big. And then the next floor was the main floor. So like the main office, the nurse office, the principal's office, and like in the center was the library. So it was like it's not really like a library that you go like the public library, how they have the rows of books. It was like one bookshelf. I think they used to have like rows of books, but they took it out. There was like one bookshelf for TV, computers, and like a little table. And we just they made it to like the after school program room and stuff. And they had like the little kids, like the pre-Ks and the kindergarteners. The next floor was like 1st to 4th, and the next floor was 5th to 8th. So the top floor was for the big kids, the middle ones for like the middle, and the bottom is for babies. So the day that this happened was a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I think it was every Wednesday, or was it? I feel like it was a Wednesday. Like every Wednesday, they would have a band practice. Like a person would come in and they would practice band with the kids that paid for it. So they would practice on the second floor where all like from first to fourth are. But there was like this room that, because since it was an old school, nuns used to be there, priests used to work there, like that's how it is. That room was like an altar service room, but like for practicing and stuff. But since like that whole entire thing got out and got modernized, it turned into what you may call it, like a dance room. Like we would have practiced dance in that room, or the band kids would practice their music in that room. So that was considered like the practice room, the dance room, the band room. So now every Wednesday the kids would play, and it was a really big band. So all the kids would practice in that room at a certain time. Like if you were in this group, you would practice at that time, that time, that time. So all the kids would practice in that room. And mind you, like the whole entire school was made out of like marbles and tiles. Like the floor was marbles and tiles, the walls had tiles in it. So if you're there by yourself, like you could hear yourself breathe, like your voice will echo through the thing. But when the band was practicing, the noise from the band, the music from the band would echo throughout the whole entire school. No matter where you were, you would hear the band because they were that loud. So keeping that in mind, like you could hear the band in any floor, and it was so loud that you couldn't even hear yourself think. Like if there was no band there, you could hear yourself think, breathe, eat, like you could hear everything you were doing. But when the band was playing, you couldn't hear not a thing. So keeping that in mind, it was a Wednesday. So I was in after school, like it was like the beginning of after school, kids are leaving, like parents are picking them up. A band was practicing, and I was doing my homework, like starting to do my homework, but not completely. And my 8th grade teacher, may she rest in peace, she did pass away when I was in 8th grade, but my 8th grade teacher came in, and she's like, can somebody do me a favor? And you know, all the kids were like raising my hand, like me. And she's like, okay, Cynthia, do me a favor and go to the 3rd floor and get my keys that are on my desk, not my desk, by the computer. So I'm like, okay. So how her room is set up, the computer desk is right by the door. You don't need to go in. You just open the door, peek your head in, take the key, close the door. That's it. That's where the keys were. Her desk is all the way on the other side, and like the chairs, the kids' chairs are over here, and the lockers in the back. Because every classroom had a locker. So I'm like, all right, whatever. That's no biggie. So she waited for me at the bottom of the stairs, right? Okay. So I'm like, all right. I go up, none of my business, you know, just walking. I'm tired because there was a lot of stairs. So I'm just walking, you know, walking up the stairs. And there's nobody on that floor, obviously, because everybody's on the 2nd floor playing the band. So that's all I could hear was the music from the band playing. And I'm like, okay, so they're playing band, whatever. People are there, whatever. I open the door. I look on my side where the computer was, no key. And I'm like, okay, maybe she forget, like, you know what, whatever. So I go to her desk and I'm looking, no key. I'm like, ah, damn it. Maybe she forget. Maybe she took it with her to her bag. Maybe she just confused. Let me just go tell her that. I look up and I look where the computer was again. The key's right there. I'm like, okay. Maybe I just passed by, like my mind's playing tricks on me. It's nothing. Like, let me just grab the key and go. So I took the key, and when I turned my back to close the door to leave, I heard, like, it was like right behind me, like a sigh, like a female sigh, like, like that. And I'm like, and I started running, like full on dashing. I pushed through the doors and I started running down the stairs. And you know that that little clip video of like this celebrity, I feel like it's Britney Spears, that's like hopping over staircase, like avoiding paparazzi. That's how I was hopping over the staircase. I was fully dashing and my heart was pounding, like pounding, because I was the only person on that floor at the time. There was no one there. B, how would I hear that sigh? Like, if it was somebody like on the other side of the hallway, I probably wouldn't hear it because the music was so loud that I wouldn't hear anything. Like, nothing at all. Like, you wouldn't hear anything at all. That's how loud the music was. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So that's another thing. A third thing is like, if for me to hear, the person would have to be right next to me, because that's how loud the sigh was, that I could feel like it was somebody next to me sighing. But I was the only one there. And why was the key when I first came in not by the computer desk where she said it was, and I went to her desk, and when I looked up again it was there? Like, it's not, I know at first I was like, oh, my mind playing tricks on me, but after I heard this sound, I'm like, nah, this school's haunted, like, for real. So I started running, and I'm running, and I'm like crying because I was so scared, because I was a little kid, I was a crybaby, and I'm like hysterically crying to her. I'm like, I just heard somebody sigh upstairs there, I was the only one there. And she's just looking at me, and she just laughs, and she's like, yeah, that's the whole point why I don't like going upstairs by myself, because I feel like there's somebody there with me, and none of the other teachers like to go up there by themselves. They always have to have somebody with them because they're scared too. And I'm looking at her like, you made me go upstairs by myself, knowing that upstairs could be haunted? And I'm like looking at him like, oh, okay, yeah, you got me. Like, I went upstairs, mind you, I'm like, what, 10, 11? And I'm scared out of my mind. Like, I'm scared. And every time she would ask me to do her favors upstairs, I'm like, nope. If I'm going upstairs, somebody going upstairs with me. And it has to be a split second, because I'm not doing no, let's go on a scavenger hunt to find this, let's do this. No, because after that whole incident, I never, if the teacher's like, oh, can you run upstairs? Like, if all the kids are downstairs and like the cafeteria is something, and they're like, oh, can you run upstairs and get me something? Nope, not me. You could pick somebody else, or you could make somebody come with me, but not me by myself, because I'm not going up there by myself, because it is haunted. And then one time, my 5th grade teacher was telling us a story about something that happened on that floor, like a ghost story. And I'm like, I don't remember it at all, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's true or not, because that place is haunted. I'm telling you. And that school closed down like this year, so I feel like it is haunted to the extent, like, every place is haunted in their own way, like, for real. Like, another time, like, it was me and my friend from college. She also has a YouTube channel, which I will leave in the link below, that we was walking, and the other day, like, I don't know what happened. I was watching, I'm so stupid, I don't like watching ghost shows anymore. I used to, like, Halloween wise, like, if they have like a true ghost story come on, like Ghostly Encounters, My Haunted House. I'm sorry, my mom's loud again, like, she talks really loud. Like, My Haunted House and stuff, like, I will watch it with my mom, but you will always have like this sense of fear afterwards, and you're like you're very paranoid. Like, I was watching this show on Hulu, Your Worst Nightmare, and I've been paranoid. Like, I'm texting my friends like, I'm paranoid right now. I was home alone, paranoid. So, like, that day, I don't know, me and my mom was watching this ghost show on TV, right? I'm like, I go to school in Manhattan. I go to school on 34th Street. So, I go to school on 34th Street. So, that's right across the street from the Empire State Building. So, I'm like, okay. I'm like, I wonder what places in New York is haunted. So, I'm typing it on Google. And a whole list pops up. And it's the same things that, like, the most haunted places. And another website said the Empire State Building, which I'm not surprised it would be haunted, but I'm like, okay, like, my school's right across the street from there. Like, it's an old building. Of course, it will have some type of ghost in it or something, because I really do believe in spirits. I do believe in, like, the paranormal and stuff. Like, there's always, like, these wandering spirits around that can't cross over, or they have, like, unfinished business that they want to do. Like, you know, when people die suddenly, I feel like their mind is not like, oh, I'm dead. like I have something to do, like I gotta keep going while nobody paying attention to me. Like I feel like those spirits and the spirits that cross over, that like watch over you, like guardian angels. Like I believe my grandparents that did pass away are guardian angels to me. Like every time that I feel scared or something, I always think of them and I feel like kind of calmer and stuff. Like I do have my grandparents' photos in my room. Like I have two of my grandpa, because my grandpa recently passed away like 3 or 4 years ago, and I have one of my grandmother that passed away before I was born, and I feel like I have like a connection with them because when I was born, another mini story time. My mom always told me when I was like born and I first came from the hospital, my mom took a nap, right? And she put me in the crib. And then when she opened her eyes, she said she saw like lights or like apparitions like floating around my crib like in a circle. And she didn't feel like the sense of like to get up and like, oh, what is doing, like who's there, what's going on, because she felt like it was like at peace and they just wanted to see me. Like her family that passed away, like my grandmother who really wanted to see me because my mom was pregnant with me at the time that she passed away, and she was really eager to see me and stuff because I'm my mom's first child and her only child. Her some other family members that my mom really close to, and she felt like they wanted to see me and stuff, so she felt like at peace. And she said when she closed her eyes again and she opened her eyes, they weren't there, and I was like fast asleep. Like I wasn't crying or anything, I was calm. So I feel like there's those spirits that like they passed over but they're watching over you and stuff. So I feel like those are the two types of spirits. So continue on with the story. Like I was me and my friend, I was looking up and they said the Empire State Building has a ghost. I'm like, okay, like they have a ghost, let me figure it out. And they have this article of this lady that committed suicide by jumping off the top of the Empire State Building and landing on the car. And they called it the most beautiful suicide. Like search it, look it up. The most beautiful suicide. It was like a bookkeeper or librarian that killed herself that way. So we're like, okay, I don't know, this could be like coincidence or something. Like I don't know. I believe in space. Like I believe in supernatural a lot. So it was like, it was the we went to Wendy's because we have like this break in between classes, like a really large gap, and I obviously get hungry, and you know Wendy's had the 4 for $44, so I had to get it because it's cheap. So to go to Wendy's is like on the other side, like it's a long block, because you know Manhattan has those long blocks. So I was walking down that long block, and you cross the street, and you're like right in front of the Empire State Building, and you stay on that block, then you turn, and there's Wendy's. So on our way back from Wendy's, it was like the day after it snowed, but it wasn't like really snowing. Like there wasn't like chunks of snow on the floor. You didn't need to wear your boots. Like you didn't need to do any of that. And then I'm walking with her, and I also told her about what I found out about the most beautiful suicide, the bookkeeper that committed suicide. So she was like, oh, I feel like every place has a ghost. Like it's not only thing, like our school also has ghosts. I feel like because it's an old building, da da da. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. So we were crossing the street, and the Empire State Building's here, the street's here, and we had to cross the street to go to the other side to walk to our school. So imagine the Empire State Building's right here, right? Tell me why, when we were crossing the street, she like turned herself, like she moved herself a different way. I forgot if it was she moved back or she moved like across from me, like turned from me. And then this icicle, this humongous icicle, came from like, I don't know, like from the center of the freaking sky and just dropped of where she was gonna stand. And we're like, whoa, like if she didn't move, she probably would have gotten hit with the icicle. And it was humongous, and it shattered on the floor. And we're looking up and we're like, how did that happen? Because we're in the center of the street. The Empire State Building's here. We're right here. There's nothing there. Like there's only a sky. And that humongous icicle fell. And she's like, oh, it's probably the ghost. It's probably the ghost. And I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. I believe it's supernatural. And like, it's scary because I feel like some spirits have like hidden intentions. They want to hurt you, da da da. But I'm a chicken when it comes to those things. Like, I don't like watching the ghost shows anymore. I don't really watch scary movies like that. Like, I'm a chicken. Like, I don't do any of those things. So that's the end of my story time. There's more story times to come. I have another one that's already filmed, gonna upload it soon. But that's the end of my story time. If you want other story time that are like paranormal experience, because I have like one more, two more, I think, like paranormal experience, leave it in the comment down below and I will sure to tell it, upload it, and that's about it. So see you later, guys. Love you. Bye. Oh, and you won't see this hairstyle. I'm changing my hairstyle, so I love it though, but my edges are gone. Doop. If you, me without my lashes, I'm bald without my lashes. My edges gone. So I really want to do a ponytail next, but I'm gonna do something else. But anyway, start rambling on. Bye, guys.